You probably heard this your entire life that hard work, discipline, and perseverance are the key to success. But what if that formula is exactly why you still feel stuck? Whether you're watching or listening, thank you so much for being here. I'm Shalay, and this is Dare to Align. This is where we have real conversations about what success looks like when it's built from a place of alignment, not just hustle, strategy, systems, none of that. So, today we're going to talk about one of the biggest lies that's been keeping so many ambitious people stuck, and what no one ever told us about why all that effort might not be working. Now, this isn't just a small misunderstanding or a small mistake, it's a big lie. One so big it's shaped how many of us have lived our whole lives. A lie that made a lot of us think that we're the problem when things don't work out. And so here it is. The big lie is if you just work hard, stay disciplined, and never give up, you'll be successful, right? Now, I want to make it clear, is hard work important? Of course it is. Is discipline important? Absolutely. But here's what no one tells us: hard work alone only works if you're climbing the right mountain. Otherwise, you're just burning out with nothing to show for. And what I mean by that is if you're pursuing something that matches how you're wired to thrive, not just what looks good on paper, not what you were told you should do, but something that will actually utilize your strengths, your personality, and what lights you up, that's climbing the right mountain. I didn't know all of that. So I want you to imagine this with me. Picture a person completely out of breath because they've been climbing up this very steep rocky mountain. They're carrying a backpack full of how to be successful books, right? They've got motivational quotes written all over their water bottle, their backpacks, and supplies. They've got coaches from below supporting them, shouting, "Keep going, you've got this, you're almost there." But here's the catch: they finally get to the top of that mountain only to realize they climbed the wrong one. Because when they reached the top, they felt no joy, there's no peace, no relief, they're just exhausted and disappointed. That's what happens when you chase success without alignment. But if it's okay with you, I want to go a little bit deeper here because there's another group that I really want to speak to. These are the people that I call the unsung heroes because they're the ones who never actually made it to the top of the mountain. Not because they didn't try hard enough, not because they didn't want it badly enough either, not because they didn't have a strong why, but because no matter how hard they tried, nothing was just working. They followed all the advice, they invested in all the programs and all the coaches and all the seminars. They used up every bit of their money, time, and energy that they had, and still they didn't make it. Now they're just stuck somewhere halfway up the mountain. They're just feeling ashamed that they never made it, feeling like they wasted everything. They let their family down, and the worst part, they don't even know why. And they have nothing left to keep going and to figure out why did it not work for them. I don't know about you, but that was me. I was one of those people, the ones who tried everything, but still felt stuck, exhausted, and unfortunately questioning my worth. And if that's you, I just want you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. You weren't failing. You were not being careless. You were just trying to find ways that will work. You've just been climbing a mountain that was never yours to climb. So what do you do when you are stuck in the middle of the mountain? Unfortunately, you have to climb down. And here's the part that breaks my heart, because we live in a society where starting over is seen as failure. But climbing down isn't failure. It is the only way for you to realize that you're climbing the wrong mountain. Because that's the only way to get a new perspective. You have to take a step back, far enough to see the truth. But here's the thing. The reason why so many people would much rather stay stuck even after trying everything they could, is because starting over is way too hard. Now, I don't even know how we got here, but somewhere along the way, we were just taught this idea that for whatever reason, we were supposed to have just one career, one business for our entire lives. That if you bounce from one job to the next, if you pivot or try something new, it must be because you didn't work hard enough to stick it out. So instead of wanting to choose alignment, people stay stuck in shame, struggling, not because they're capable of change, but because the world has made change or starting over look like quitting. Think about someone who spent 10 or 15 years in their entire career as just an accountant. They went to school, got their degree, and they worked their way up. But every single year of that career felt like a struggle to them. But now they've got a steady paycheck. They've got loved ones that are depending on them. And so the thought of starting over, of saying, I don't want to do this anymore, that feels impossible. And I get it. Because again, in our society, quitting or even wanting to try something else equals failure. So most people will say things like, oh, I'd rather be miserable with a paycheck than risk it all trying something new with no paycheck. But here's the thing. What if there is a way to discover the kind of work you're designed to thrive in? The kind of work that actually fits you, the kind of work that will energize you, that makes you feel like you're finally in your element, like a fish in water. So this right here is the silent epidemic that I've been trying to bring awareness to. It's the quiet misery that so many people are carrying. They're either miserable at their job or they're miserable because they're struggling in it, wondering why it still doesn't feel right despite all the effort that they put in. And they blame themselves. So I'm here to tell you that we were just never shown the path that was aligned with who we are, that there's a way to do it. And if that path existed, if there's a way to discover and identify the kind of work that you were actually built to do, wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you at least want the chance to find out how? Because here's the truth. You cannot build sustainable success on top of misalignment. That's burnout. It might work for a while. You might even make progress, but eventually your energy, your joy, your confidence, they all start to fade. And the longer you stay on a path that doesn't fit you, that doesn't energize you, the more you start to forget who you really are. That's why it matters. So here's what I'm suggesting. Before we even get into strategies or frameworks, I want to leave you with one powerful question. And it's this. What if the reason you're not thriving, even after trying everything, is because the path that you're on isn't built for how you naturally work best or using what you're naturally good at? So just sit with that. You don't need to have the answer today. You just need to start asking that question, because asking better questions is what opens the door to alignment. And as you let all of this sink in, here's one simple thing that you could do right now. Grab a notebook or even a note app on your phone and write down one area of your life that feels like a struggle to you. Then ask yourself, am I struggling because I'm being challenged in a good way, or because I've been pouring all this effort, but nothing seems to click? So just that one question could be the reason that might unlock what you've been avoiding. Because alignment doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. And here's what I've learned. The more honest we are with ourselves, especially about the daily challenges we face, probably with work, the faster clarity starts to come. It's like once you stop pretending that it's fine, you finally make room for a better question, because it might just be the missing piece to something you've been looking for. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, I get it, but what does this actually look like in real life, Shalay? That's exactly what we're going to explore in the next episode. because I'll be sharing a powerful interview with an amazing woman named Davina Ware. Davina's story is one of courage, clarity, and realignment. She opens up about what it took to walk away from a career that looked good on paper, what she went to school for, but didn't feel right in her soul, and how she eventually found her way back to the kind of work that lights her up, and equally as important, one that allows her to thrive. So, if you've ever wondered what it really looks like to pivot with purpose, or what happens when someone dares to align, this is the episode to tune into. So, thank you so much for being here today. Remember, while the world dares you to dream big and aim high, I dare you to align, because true success is about knowing who you are so that you can align yourself with what you do so you can finally thrive. I'll see you next time.